So we spent a lot of our program today asking ourselves questions that I sit down with my clients and ask them when they're thinking about a Roth conversion. And what I'm showing on my computer is a way that we go through this and say, is this the best situation for you? Now, I know those of you on our YouTube channel can see this, but I want to speak it out loud for those who are joining us via our radio towers. And so I have an individual here, and I'm going to say that this individual, they'll say is 40 years old. Their retirement age is 65. And we think that they're going to last till age 95, but feel free, you can live as long as you'd like to. And we're going to say in this case that there is a $500,000 IRA, and they're trying to figure out, if this IRA is growing at 5%, I'm in a 30% tax bracket, is this really worth it to convert to to a Roth IRA? So let's go ahead. And on the computer, it's showing me here, well, let's take a look at this. It shows me how much was in my IRA, what it could possibly grow to over the time period from age 45 to 65, or I said it was from 40 to 65. So it's had quite a bit of years to grow. And it shows that it could grow $2,810,813. And what it's literally showing as people are looking online, they're able to see that the account value and then how much had to be taken out, how much was lost in the fact of, all right, well, you paid taxes on it. But if we put the taxes back in and what that could have earned, plus the value of the account, it comes to 2.8. Well, what if we had the money in the Roth IRA that we put in there, and the Roth IRA, we're not having to pull taxes out when it's at retirement? What would that equal? Well, that would equal $3.2 million. So bottom line, if you're looking at my screen, it says based on after-tax income, the Roth is better by $395,000. Now, there are buttons that I can push on this that deal with the tax rate, that go into the specific account values. That is something that I do with my clients. But what I wanted to bring to the radio program and to our YouTube program today was to let individuals know there are ways we can really begin to address these questions. We can look at the specifics of not only understanding how the Roth conversion works, but we can run the numbers. The last question that I would ask on this, and then I want to just close by going over the benefits and summarizing on the Roth, is who will be the beneficiaries? See, a lot of times when we put money into a Roth, we do it because we have high earning children, right? They're earning good wages, they have good jobs, or we hope that they're going to have good jobs, right? Sometimes we don't know right away. Sometimes it takes them a little time to find their footing. But if we have children that we believe are going to have high income, then having a Roth allows us to be able to transfer that money to them without causing unnecessary taxes. Now, if they are in a situation where maybe they're lower earning, well, maybe then that's different, that the money gets converted to them through a traditional IRA. Yes, they'll have to pay taxes, but if they're at a lower level on the taxes, then it's not as much. So again, those are the hard questions, the uncomfortable questions that a financial advisor wants to sit down and ask with you to say, hey, how's this going to affect the beneficiaries? And are there multiple beneficiaries? We have cases where there are individuals that are saying, I have 3 children. One of them works for social services, in different departments. I'm not listing the name of the organizations, but it's an outreach program. They're paid peanuts. They should be paid more. But this is what their income, and they find such gratification and fulfillment in what they're doing, working and helping with foster care, helping in the different areas. And while it's very hard emotionally because they're seeing families that have been split up and different things that they're going through, that's where those adults want to work. And so I have the parents, and the parents are saying, listen, this is how much money they make. They could make so much more, but this is what they're called to. But then they can have other children who are attorneys and others that are high income earners. So you don't know. You look at all the equations in there and then decide what is best for you, so you can have tax-free during retirement, and what's best for your beneficiaries. And then we put the plan together. So with that being said, in the remaining time together, I just want to go over the benefits of this, because I do believe, I don't know your specific situation, but I believe it's worth a conversation. This could be something that you can consider. You may find, no, this absolutely does not fit me. I'm planning on having an IRA of less than 500,000, 200,000, and I tend to use it all. I actually have a client. He's 62 now because he just could qualify for Social Security. And in his case, he said, Crystal, I am not leaving a penny to my beneficiaries. And every year he calls and says, what was my profit this year? How much did we grow? And we take all the growth out of the account and he goes and plays. It's his life. He's been retired since 52, so something almost 10 years now, and he's having a ball. Him and his wife, do they have children? Yep, they got 2 children. They have 2 grandchildren, but that's what he's decided is right for him. Now I have others. I'm trying to get them to spend something. I think of one client where she loves the Disney World cruises. Now, maybe not because of COVID. But that's the only thing her kids can get her to spend money on because she's saving every nickel, wants to make sure it gets to her kids. So everybody's different. But as we walk through these equations, these questions that we're asking ourselves, we need to find out what's right for you and if your goal is to leave anything to the children. So here's the benefit. We'll summarize with this before we close today. The benefits of a Roth conversion are the withdrawals are tax-free. That is important because when money's coming in, depending upon the amount of money that could come in from an IRA, could impact your Social Security. Not take away, so I want to relax, but what it could do is Social Security could be taxed up to 85% of your Social Security. Not an 85% tax. Everybody breathe. We are not there. Hopefully we never get there. But up to 85% of your Social Security can be taxed. And again, if we can have income coming in from a Roth that doesn't have any influence on that, then we don't have to worry about money coming in that triggers taxes in other places. Money coming in when we're having the withdrawals coming in. All right, so that means maybe if you're having that money come in after age 59 and a half, you've got the money coming in age 61, 62, now you hit age 63. We don't have to worry when Irma looks back and says, hey, wait a minute, what was your income in 63 and 64? Because we're going to put a surcharge on your Medicare. We don't have to worry about that. Or again, based on your situation, you may not have to worry about that. The other part, the benefit is the required minimum distribution. Remember, when you have a Roth, the government doesn't get paid on it. They're not going to set up a required minimum distribution where you have to give them money. Nope. When you have set up the Roth, there is no required minimum distribution. Now, that's also a benefit to your children when they inherit it because, of course, let me just pause a moment for that. It may go to your spouse and then your spouse give it to the children. So, but whenever it gets into your children's hands, at least if it's a Roth, we're not having to worry about years 1 through 9 from the time that they received it. You're going to have to pay a required minimum distribution. You don't have to worry about how it's going to impact their taxes. So no RMDs for our children years 1 through 9, though they will have to take it all by year 10. We don't have to worry about RMDs on your lifetime. And your spouse doesn't have to worry about RMDs. No required minimum distributions. They can do with it as they please. So Roths are, in my opinion, a better asset to even leave to a trust instead of an IRA. And that's a whole component that we didn't even get into. And I'm looking at the clock and there's no way in the remaining minute and 30 seconds that I have that we can get into this. But understand, this stretch IRA even impacted trusts. And now we're getting to the place where I wonder, and this is something I would encourage you, talk to your financial advisor about, because I know I have an opinion. Is a trust necessary as far as for tax reasons? Now, it may be necessary because you want to control from the grave. You want to make sure that somebody doesn't do a lawsuit and take the money. There's different reasons for trusts. But if you were using the trusts as a way, a vehicle, a wealth transfer vehicle to pass that money to the next generation, then maybe this might be the time to reconsider that and say, wait a minute, if that's the only reason that I'm doing it, this may not be the best vehicle to do it. There are other vehicles that can be used. A Roth life insurance, great vehicles that we can use. So I'd encourage you to take time and talk to your advisor.